Hey Cam Fam, welcome back to the channel. Today is our Mother's Day vlog, which is why I wanted to dedicate this vlog for all you mommies out there. But before we start, please make sure you're already subscribed and you've clicked on that bell button so you're always notified whenever I have new videos like this one. Okay, so for today's vlog, I asked you guys to send in your questions about anything motherhood or Sienna related, and I received quite a few questions, a lot actually. So I tried my best to shortlist the questions that I feel like a lot of you are interested in. So hopefully I'm able to answer a lot of your nagbabagang questions. In case you're hearing a child's voice, that is Sienna, currently on my makeup table with her father because she does not want to go anywhere else except my makeup table. Okay, so let's start with the first question. Did you initially prefer a girl or a boy as your first? Love you and your little love bug. I did initially prefer a girl. I don't know if I told this story before on my vlog. I think I have. Yeah, probably on our baby gender reveal vlog. During the earlier days of my pregnancy, we actually thought she was gonna be a boy, that I was carrying a boy because they saw on the ultrasound a very, very clear penis. We were sure it wasn't her finger. We were sure that it wasn't her umbilical cord. So very, very early on, I already thought that I was gonna have a boy, and I felt so sad because I really, really wanted a girl. Not that I don't want a boy ever, it's just that I wanted my first to be a girl so that for my next baby, I don't have to feel pressured because I already have one girl, so the next one can be a girl or a boy. I don't really mind. I just really wanted one girl so that, you know, I can play dress up with her, I can do a lot of like kikay stuff with her. It's something that's super mababaw. Do you ever feel guilty when you leave her? Yes. I feel this more now that she's more aware, because when she was a baby, like a real baby during the earlier months, she didn't really know us as mom and dad, you know? Like, she hasn't really made that connection yet. She doesn't know that I'm mom and Yoni's dad. She just knows that I'm food source, dad is diaper changer, you know? And you could just give her to anyone, di pa siya nangingilala. She could literally go with anyone. She really had no sort of association yet. It's much harder now because she already knows how to call mama, she already knows how to call dada, she already understands when I'm about to leave. And then when she cries, that makes me feel guilty. When kids cry, they really are just made to make you feel anxious and sad, and just that's what makes me feel guilty when I hear her cry. And also when there are days when parang mga 2 consecutive days that I feel like I didn't give her enough time because I was so busy with work, then I would feel guilty also. So I'd always make it a point to like, okay, on the 3rd day I don't have much work, so I really want to give her quality time, like no phones, no anything. If it's not important, if I don't really need to do it, that can wait. I want to make it up to her. How does it feel to be a mom in the middle of a pandemic? I think I really felt it when I was giving birth. You guys know during my birthing story that it was just a whirlwind of surprise after surprise after surprise. I thought I was going to be able to be with Yoni all throughout my delivery, pero hindi pala, so I had to do it all alone. It was an emergency C-section, like so many surprises left and right. And I feel like it would have been less overwhelming if I didn't give birth during a pandemic. I think what's also sad about being a pandemic mom is that you don't get to celebrate your baby and you're becoming a mom with your loved ones as much as other moms did before the pandemic. You know, usually when you're in the hospital, dami mo ng like friends were visiting, or like when you give birth, when you come out of the hospital, just like that, your parents would have already seen their grandkids. Now, a lot of us pandemic moms, like it took months before we were actually able to introduce our baby to our own parents, to our own families. And also, like, not all of our friends have met our babies. Just stuff like that. Just not being able to celebrate your baby with your loved ones and friends as often as you would want and as early as you would want. But I think there's also some benefits to it because we were all like stuck at home. We were all working from home. I feel like we were able to give more time and really spend time with our babies longer than if we were still going on with our day-to-day just as if we were doing so pre-pandemic. Most of us didn't have to go to regular programming right away. So then we were able to really bask in the joy of like having a baby and really just taking care of the baby, really just focusing on this new life. So yeah, I think there are ups and downs to becoming a pandemic mom, but definitely want to experience a more normal pregnancy or early mothering experience with my next child, which is also why I'd like to wait for the pandemic to be over before having another one. Is Sienna sleep trained? How did you start? I'm planning to do it when I give birth this year. Yes, Sienna is sleep trained, and I always recommend it to all my mommy and daddy friends because I feel like it's just a lifesaver. It gives you so much independence. It gives your baby so much independence as well. For me, kasi I really want to give my babies all the tools that will help her become more independent. And also, I feel like sleep training helps not just the baby but also the parents, the adults, the guardians, or the yayas, because then you're not spending like 30 minutes to an hour or even more just putting your baby to sleep. You're not attached to your baby every single night. Like, I know so many of my friends, their kids are already 2 years old, but they can't leave because their child won't go to sleep if it's not them who puts their child to sleep. And I feel like this might affect your own happiness as well, and also your relationship with your partner, because then, parenting, motherhood, fatherhood, they're all very rewarding and you'd want to do everything for your kid. But also, there's a lot of different aspects to your life that you need to also be able to fulfill. And you need to be able to take care of yourself as well and do things for yourself. And I feel like sleep training helps you be able to do those things. We started sleep training Sienna when she was around past 5 months old. I think you can already start sleep training earlier, but usually the recommended is around 5-6 months old. That's like usually the time when they're really ripe for sleep training, really ready for it, not too early, not too late. For us, we wanted to start earlier, but we weren't able to because Ria of himbing.ph told us na since we told her we were gonna go abroad because we were going to go to Europe for a few months, and so that means that we're gonna be changing time zones in the middle of the sleep training, and we only had, I think, around 2 weeks before flying out. So she said this is too short of a time and you'll only be disrupting her schedule, her sleep training, so might as well start doing it when you're already in Europe because it's a long enough time for you to be able to establish a routine and sleep train her there. So that's what we did. The moment that we got to Europe, that's when we started to sleep train her. Actually, before we went to Europe, I remembered I told Yoni na I feel like she's kind of ready. Like, I could feel that Sienna is kind of ready already. You could see that she was already able to self-soothe because in the first 3 months of Sienna's life, like first 1 to 4 months, she was already sleeping longer than a normal baby. Like, she'd have longer sleeps. And I know that doctors usually say na you have to wake them up because, their tummies are tiny, they get hungry, you need to be able to feed them every 2 to 3 hours. But for us, it didn't happen all the time anyway, so I didn't really wake her up. And also her weight was correct, like she was healthy, she was still reaching her like milk goals, so I really did feel that I needed to wake her up. So by the time that we wanted to start sleep training her and we contacted Himbing na, I could already see that Sienna could self-soothe because we had a monitor called Nanit. I've shared this on my Instagram before. And with that, it comes with free 1-year insights. So even if Yoni and I don't wake up, there's an insight there. We could rewind it and they tell us na, okay, Sienna woke up at this time. Sienna fell asleep at this time. So then I saw na, okay, she woke up pala at 1 a.m. Yoni and I didn't know and she didn't make a sound. And then she just self-soothed and went back to sleep on her own. So I was telling Yoni that I feel like Sienna is actually ready. Why don't we try with, like, let's say, her morning nap, or let's try muna with her night sleep before we go to Europe. Like, let's just see, baka kaya naman. So yeah, we tried incorporating the different sleep training techniques that Ria told us to do. So one of the most important things is to really make your environment conducive to sleep. So she was really adamant with saying that you really have to have blackout curtains. Even if it's a morning nap or it's like a nighttime sleep, it should be the same so that she knows. These are sleep cues for her. So okay, curtains closed, open hush machine, give her her milk, put her down, kiss her goodnight. Like, always do that no matter if it's a nighttime sleep or a nap, so that there's a sleep cue talaga for her and she knows, oh, okay, I'm already going to sleep. This is sleeping time. And then we also made sure to stick to her sleeping times because babies are creatures of habit, especially during these early months. What we did was Ria helped us plot out, okay, when does she usually get sleepy? Okay, how long does she usually nap? What's your goal time for her nap? Like, how much total nap time do you want? So we were able to plot that. So for us, it was, I think, around like 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. And then she says, okay, and you want her to sleep 1.5 hours. Yes, or until 2 hours. So then, okay, that should be around 11 to 11:30. Okay, and then her next nap is what time? Okay, and then her sleeping time should be what time? Okay, so if these are the times that you want her to be asleep, what time should you start your sleep routine? So for example, for nighttime, you still give her a bath, right? So should you be starting at 45 minutes before her sleep sleeping time. Okay, so start 45 minutes before. So it's always same time, like clockwork. We'd always try our best to hit that same time. And then she told us that if she wakes up, let's say she fell asleep, but she wakes up, let's say from 9:30, she wakes up at 10:15. She told us that don't go in and get her. Wait until it's 11. If she tries to fuss, you can go in, you can try to hold her, but you only open the curtain and say that, okay, good morning, sleeping time is done, when it's already really the time that she's supposed to be awake from her nap. So that's what she told us. Okay, so you guys would probably ask me now, okay, so you can go in pala if it's sleep training. I thought you're supposed to just let her cry it out. I feel like that's one of the things that a lot of parents are scared of. That's why they don't start the sleep training, or they don't really consider sleep training, because they feel like it's such an evil thing to do to your kid, that you're letting them cry it out and like making them feel that they're so unloved and like you're not giving them attention, and so you don't want to do the sleep training. With Ria, she didn't really say that you have to like make them cry it out. That wasn't really her method. She was telling us, no, you can go in as long as you just don't do all the things that you're not supposed to do, like let's say hele, dancing, walking, shaking her, like those things that you used to do when she was still like in the first 3-4 months. During that time kasi okay lang, because they still don't form habits, but at this time at 5-6 months or older, they start to form habits. So you don't want to keep doing this, because then there's a chance that you still have to like walk and rock your baby even after they're 1 year old, and you don't want to be doing that. So again, if they're crying, you can go in, you can hug them, but just stand still. Hug them and do not be like shaking and dancing. So you can hug them and shush them like shh, 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 shh. So that's what we did, and in the beginning it was so hard. Like I remember Ria was saying that she did it with one of her kids. Like she was doing that for 1 hour. Like she would shh, 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 and then the baby would calm down. She tried to put the baby down. Baby would start crying. She'd pick the baby up again, and then it was like just a cycle for an entire hour before the baby started to fall asleep. So she says there are times where when it's that difficult. For us, no, with Sienna that really didn't happen with us, but we did give it a few minutes before we'd go in and check on her and like hug her. We'd give it a few minutes first, probably do like 5, or if we could do more, like we'd do more, and we'd be like, okay, yeah, we need to go in and really just try to hug her and help her fall asleep. And then eventually, Yoni and I actually got the hang of it. We got the hang of knowing if that's a cry where we really need to go in and intervene, or if that's a cry where she's just crying for the sake of crying just to see if you'll come in, you know, but she'll really be able to fall asleep by herself eventually. Like you can really tell. I know it sounds crazy, because me also in the beginning, if you told me this in her earlier months, first 3-4 months, that you know, you can tell when your baby's really crying and you need to go in, and if your baby's just crying for nothing. I'd be like, I'm not a magician, I'm not a psychic, how would I know? But you would really know. You could really tell. So when I remember we were in Italy, Yoni and I would know, okay, she's just crying for the sake of crying. And I would tell her, give it a few minutes. It's already like, let's say, 15 minutes and she's still crying. And Yoni would tell me, are you sure? I said, I'm so sure she's gonna go to sleep. She's just trying her luck. And eventually, yeah, we both got a hang of it, and we both knew, okay, we have to go in this time. I'm sure she's really not gonna go to sleep if we don't intervene, so let's go in and hug her and shush her. So you really know, trust your instincts. But the thing is, though, I wasn't really also so strict about it. And I know Ria would kill me for this, and any other sleep training coach would kill me for this. I really wasn't so strict about it when we were sleep training her, because again, we were also traveling. So, for example, if I knew that Sienna needed some help to go to sleep for her morning nap, and I knew that she won't be able to get her afternoon nap in because we'll be traveling, we'll be in transit, so the morning nap is really so important for me, and she's still not going to sleep, I would actually go in and help her. In my head, I'm always just thinking, you know what, it's not always, it's just she really needs the help. Or for example, if she's teething, she's really not feeling well, she's uncomfortable, and I know that, you know, she's really not in her like best state, Yoni and I would go in and help her. And I don't think it affected her sleep training. She still sleeps beautifully, independently by herself. Up till now, if there's like 1 in 45 days that it happens that she's teething, or like let's say it's just something is just really bothering her and she can't fall asleep, we really still do try to help her and sway her and everything. And I honest to goodness think that it really didn't affect her sleep training. She's still sleeping by herself beautifully. It's just that I really just wasn't so strict about it. I just feel that, you know, if she really needs that extra help and I really want her to get that nap in, then I would do it. And I know that it wasn't always. It was just once every this time or once every that time. So again, I wasn't so strict about it. I know some other parents are more strict about it because they're scared that it might break the sleep training or her routine. But for us with Sienna, that really didn't happen. I'm also lucky because by the time that we were sleep training, I was already trusting myself as a mom and I was already trusting my instincts. So I just knew that this was what I was comfortable with. I just knew that this was something that my baby could do, even though there are some days where I'm not really following all the sleep training rules. Okay, ang haba nun. But I really wanted to explain it properly because every time I do a Q&A, someone always asks me about sleep training. Actually, not someone, a lot of you always ask me about it. So I hope this really helps you out. If you still have some follow-up questions, you can leave some comments below and I'll try my best to visit again and answer them. Do you believe in play schools or you think it's better for you to spend more time with Sienna? I think both. I think you really need to spend time with your baby. It's important to bond with your baby and to give them quality time and not just really just sit there and be with your baby and then be on your phone the entire time. I really think it's important to spend time with your baby, but I also think at this point of Sienna's life, it's important as well to expose her to other babies and to other people. I don't want kasi a fussy baby. I just don't want things to be difficult for her. And I feel that if I don't expose her to other babies and other adults, then I'm making all these social situations for her difficult in the future. I don't want her to be, so scared of other people, so scared of other kids. So that's why I feel like play dates are important and it's important to really develop her social skills. And I see it work so well with her because I remember when she was a young baby, when we went to Europe, anyone could just touch her. We could give her to anyone and she wouldn't cry. But then the moment that we came back to the Philippines, she was around 7 months old na, I think. And at that time, nangingilala na siya. And that's why when we came back to the Philippines and she saw Yaya, she did not want to go with Yaya. She cried so much. For the first 3 days, Yaya couldn't do anything with her. Yaya couldn't put her to sleep. Yaya couldn't give her a bath. It was all me. And Yaya was just standing there with us. And I just kept making her, interact with Yaya so that she'd get used to Yaya again. But that's when it hit me na, okay, she's starting to... I don't know if you can hear it, but Sienna is knocking her door and wants to come out. Anyway, yeah, so that's when I felt that, okay, she's starting to, nangingilala na siya. And I could see na, if she doesn't see you for 2 weeks and she sees you again, she doesn't know you anymore. She gets scared of you na. So then, I tried to expose her to, my friends, to small groups lang. And I'd always, try to introduce my friends to her. Make sure that, they get to play with her. In the beginning, she'd always be like you saw it during Yoni's birthday when Doreen and Patricia were trying to get to know her and she was still after that birthday and after really making sure that we'd spend time with other people, she eventually became so much friendlier. Now when we go out, she'd say hi to all the whoever she sees, kahit di na kilala, strangers, she'd be saying hi. But she's very polite. When she's with other kids and play dates, you'd see her she is such an observer. She'd just stand there and be quiet and observe. She'd be smiling. She's not scared, but she likes to observe first before she goes in. And then if someone comes to her, another kid, she doesn't get scared. She just stands there and observes, what do they want from me and stuff like that. And I feel her social skills now are really, the kind of social skills I want her to develop. So I'm really, really happy with how things are going with her development in that aspect. Okay, we have a visitor now because she has been released from her room. What pisses her off? What pisses Sienna off? Eto, thank you. Okay, what pisses her off? Number one is when she can't open something. She doesn't have patience for it. For example, if she tries to open this and it doesn't want to open, siguro I can count to count to 20 lang, ganun na siya. Mama! It's not a tantrum, but yeah, we're trying to work on that, the patience. What else pisses you off, Sienna Bug? Wiping of the face. She hates it when you wipe her face. Like that. She does that. And thank you for that demo. Echo, thank you. Yeah, so she really doesn't like wiping her face. It's always a fight. And what I did was, I started trying to teach her how to wipe her face. I would always say, wipe, wipe, because she loves copying me. So I'd be like, wipe, 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 wipe. And I'd get a wipe and ask her to wipe her face. So then that helped, because if she does it herself, then she doesn't get mad. Now she's not as feisty anymore when we wipe her face. She's not as pissed about it anymore. So I guess that's one of the tips I can give you, is that if there are certain things that you have to do to her and she hates, try to involve her in the process maybe. Or if you can't, then try to distract her. She also gets pissed off if, for example, she's with Mama and Dada and Mama tries to hand her over to Yaya. Because in her head, Yaya is bath time, sleeping time, stop na the fun time. So Yaya gets blamed for that. So then she gets pissed. But she loves Yaya as long as Mama and Dada are not here. But if Mama and Dada are here, it's always a fight trying to give her back to Yaya. She's hurting Yaya's feelings, no, Yaya? Teething journey, please, and your rules on screen time for baby. In the beginning, someone told us to download Wonder Weeks, I think, and Wonder Weeks would tell you about all these leaps, and they would tell you, okay, a leap is happening, like a teething something is happening, so beware, your baby will be extra fussy. In the beginning, we'd always like pay attention to it, but then I remember I was talking to Trisha, and she was telling me na she doesn't believe in it. It's not science based, so I was like, yeah, let's stop looking at it. So we're not anticipating that she's gonna be fussy this week, and because of that, her teething journey actually became more bearable for me. Like, I don't really feel her teething. Like, for example, I'd feel like she's extra fussy lang today, but tomorrow, hindi na. And usually, when you look at these leaps, they would say na because of her teething, she's gonna be, fussy for the entire week. But really, it's not. It's really for us, like, I only feel it for like a day. Like, I know na, okay, she doesn't want to go to sleep kasi her teeth is like in pain, or she doesn't want to eat so much because her teeth is in pain. Those things lang. So, it's not really a big deal for me, the teething, but I guess it's also because Sienna is not as fussy naturally. So it's so easy to distract her. So even if, for example, she's so pissed with her teething and everything, as long as you distract her with something else, she's fine. Eating time? Eating time muna mo, yaya, okay? And then play with mama. I'll go with yaya. Like that. That's how she gets mad at yaya. I'll go with yaya. Go with yaya. Oh, snacks daw, snacks.
Snack time. May snack time, snack time.
That's what she does to Yaya. And that's how she makes me feel guilty. Okay, so don't mind them at the background. It's Sienna's eating time for lunch. This is a real mom life for you. So I'm just gonna continue to vlog while they're there. But there are a lot of things that could also help them with their teething. Like, let's say, mga teethers. With Sienna, that work. Teethers also help her, but yung mga cold teethers, it doesn't really help her so much. I don't think she likes cold things. Like, even if we give her kasi cold fruits or something, she usually like spits it out. She doesn't like it when it's too cold. So cold teethers didn't work with her. I remember when we were in Europe, we would sometimes give her paracetamol. Like, if she's really super duper whiny and she just really wants to go to sleep, she can't go to sleep because her teething is so bad, we'd give her paracetamol. But very, very rare naman. And then, what are your rules on screen time with baby? This is also something that I started to read about because, I'm no expert anyways, and we're only about to approach that stage kasi where she's like more familiar with these things and more curious about these things. What I already told Yoni is that I don't want screen time to be such a special thing. I don't want her to think that it's a reward. You know what I mean? Yung parang batang never mo binigyan ng candy, and then when finally they get the freedom to get candy, they go overboard because they were so deprived of it. So I feel like that's how I want it to be with the screen time. Like, I don't want her to feel like she's deprived, and I don't want her to feel like it's such a huge celebration if she gets screen time, because then she'd be like, oh my god, screen time is so special. I want it to be just chill. Like, I want her to not feel that she has a limited and monitored screen time, but in reality she really does have. Parang ganon. So I'll be limiting it, but I don't want her to notice that she's being limited. So yeah, I feel like that's our game plan. And then when it comes to what I'm gonna make her watch, I just recently read na Coco Melon pala is not good for kids. So that's definitely off the list, and mga Paw Patrol and everything. And I've learned this from other moms. Someone sent this article to me na parang there are a lot of kids shows that's not good for them because it actually is meant to make them addicted to it, which is bad, instead of really educating them. And also, there's a lot of shows and even books where, in the goal of teaching them a lesson, they actually show them how not to behave first and then teach them a lesson. But then these kids don't know that, so then they start copying these bad behavior first. That's how they learn to like throw a tantrum or do this, throw this, punch someone, because they see that bad behavior first before the lesson. So then you also have to pay attention though with those kinds of shows, and I feel like that really does make sense. This article gave a list of like the shows that are actually educational and won't cause so much like hyperactivity in their brains. They won't get into this zombie like state where they're just like this to the show. So like some shows that they gave an example of is like Thomas the Train. Remember that train show that we used to have as a kid? Except not the cartoon version, not the new one, but really the old version that we used to watch. So yung mga ganun lang, I just really have to do more research. About the shows that I will allow her to watch. But again, I'll try to do it discreetly. Like, di niya alam na yun pala yung goal. How did you start training Sienna with BLW? I have a 1-year-old and I'm scared to try BLW. BLW, for those of you who don't know, BLW is baby-led weaning, and usually more modern, non-traditional doctors would recommend you to do it as early as 4 months because babies are usually ready at 4 months. There are a lot of signs for you to look out for if your baby is ready for solids. So you can easily Google this, like for example, if they can already hold their head up high, if they don't need support already with sitting down, if they show interest when they see you eating your food, so those kinds of things. So with Sienna, she showed all those signs already early on. We started doing BLW with her when we were already in Finland, so she was already around 5.5 months old, and I was following this account. Crystal Bello kasi sent us these accounts for us to follow. Thank you so much, Crystal. She helped so much. She sent me this account on Instagram called Baby Led Wean Team, and then also Solid Starts. So I was following Baby Led Wean Team's first 100 foods. It's on their IG stories highlights, and they would show you how you're supposed to prepare the food. And what I like about her as well, and I think, or was it Solid Starts, was that they're also open to like a modified approach to BLW. So if you're still a bit scared, you could also start like a few days of just purees first. So you could do like purees that you made yourself, and then you can feed them purees first in the first few days if you're still scared, and then eventually move on to like softer solids. So the trick with BLW is to really introduce solids the proper way and to make sure to prepare and cut the food the proper way because size is so important. You'd think that when they're babies, the smaller the food, the better because you'd feel like baka pag if it's smaller, they won't find it hard to chew. But really when you cut it smaller, it's also more of a choking hazard, and that's not something that you want. So in the first stage of BLW, actually, most of the food you want it to be bigger. You want them to be able to grasp it. So it's usually like a French fry size, that type of size, and that's how you cut most of the food. And then they'll show you how to prepare the food also, so it's softer as well. So that's what we did with Sienna. What surprised me really is that your baby is so much more capable than you think. It's actually natural for us to chew. It's so natural for us to eat. So they have that innate ability already in themselves, and this was proven when they started with Sienna. I was so surprised na, babies don't need teeth to be able to eat solids. They really don't. And I understand that it can be scary because, it's so scary to see your baby choke. They could die. What I did to make me less paranoid, less scared about it is that I really did my research. For me talaga, when you study about something more, when you make yourself more aware and more knowledgeable about something, you become less anxious because you feel you're more prepared. So that's what I did. I really researched, okay, what is choking versus gagging? Because gagging is something that just happens naturally. It's not dangerous. They'd be able to recover from it by themselves. Choking, you need to actually save your baby. There's a difference. So I had to Google that. Okay, choking versus gagging. It's very easy to Google, so I don't think I need to explain this to you guys. Second thing that I did was to really look up again to refresh my memory on how it is to conduct a baby CPR and what to do when your baby chokes. And then after I did that, I also researched like a Filipino YouTube video of doing the same thing so I could show Yaya and everyone else in the house, just in case I'm not home and Yaya, let's say, panics or one of them panics, at least someone else in the house can actually help Sienna. So those are the things that I tried to do in the beginning just to make sure that everyone is well equipped in case something happens. With Sienna, we didn't really experience any choking with her so far. Knock on wood. Where is wood? Okay. She hasn't had any serious gags as well. Hers is just, and then except Yoni was saying that there was one time when we were in Europe and I wasn't there, that he felt that it was like a serious gag. He was already starting to get scared, but then she was able to recover by herself. So yeah, so far so good. Where do you get BLW recipes for your baby? For me, I first started with Baby Led Wean Team, but those are very, very simple. They don't really have a lot of like different recipes. So now that Sienna is, older and like more into flavors, I downloaded this app called BLW Meals. It's got this strawberry icon on, and it's actually a paid app. Pero for me, sobrang sulit because, you run out of ideas. And here, they give you so many ideas when it comes to recipes for your kids. And then eventually, you'll get the hang of it and you'll start to be able to do your own recipes and tweak the recipes to your own liking. What is Sienna's fave thing to do nowadays? Number one is to hold mama's hand or dada's hand to walk around the house. She needs to hold someone's hand every single time, which is hard when you're working because then you need to stop your work because she wants to hold your hand to walk around the house and to bring her everywhere, even though she can already walk on her own. And then second favorite thing that she loves to do is to look for mama's beauty blender and makeup brush so that she can either hold it and walk around with it or do chuk 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 and brush, brush, brush. She loves it. And then number 3, she likes to snack. She's learned how to snack already. I always gives her snacks, so she loves snacking. Number 4, she loves walking around. Like she would actually go to the door, get her shoes. So that's her signal that I want to go out and I want to walk around. I want to go to the pool. I want to explore. She is a lacochera, very lacochera. Number 5, she loves cutting her vegetables. So we have these toys that are velcroed together, and then she has knives to cut them. She loves that. What else does she love, Hubs?
Making noise.
Oh, and she loves to dance still. She loves to dance very much. No matter what she's doing, if music plays.
There's a stage now.
Other
where
stage.
she stops the DJ.
Yeah. She goes to beside her Google Home. That's her DJ booth, and she
Dance there.
dances there. What was your greatest fear while pregnant? My greatest fear was really something happening to my baby. That's it. Like something bad happening to her health. That's really my greatest fear. I think that's any mom's greatest fear, any parent's greatest fear. Are you potty training Sienna yet? Yes, we are. We started before she turned 1 actually. We got this potty training thing from Oxatot, and it's just a thing that you put on top of your toilet. Sienna kasi, you can really tell if she's pooping. Like you'd see it on her face. So when the first time that we used it, I saw on her face that okay, she's pooping. So I took her and ran all the way to the toilet and then just like tried to distract her while she was on the throne, and then eventually she pooped. And so after that, we'd always just, because she still doesn't know the idea, right, in the beginning. So we'd always just make sure to watch her. Okay, she's making her poopy face. Okay, run and then put her there. And then eventually, every time she's pooping, Yaya started this thing that Yaya would say, and that stuck with her. So now when she wants to poop, she already says, Sometimes it's still wrong. Sometimes she just wants to say, It happens maybe like 3 out of 10 times. But most of the time it works. She now gets the idea of potty training. I mean, it doesn't stop her from pooping in her diaper. If no one brings her there, she still poops. She won't cry until you bring her there. Or like, while she's sleeping, she still poops. But she now knows how...
in the diaper, and then she went,
She was already pissed. No one brought me to the toilet. So yeah, but at least she knows the idea now and she's slowly getting potty trained. How are you coping with Sienna's development? Someone also is asking, do you ever compare Sienna's development with other babies? I don't. I don't compare her to other babies' developments, even though they're like batchmates. I call them batchmates. I do feel proud when I see that, her batchmate still isn't walking, but we are na. Yung mga ganon. Proud mom moment. But if someone else is doing something that she knows she's not doing yet, I don't really feel bad about it. Babies all develop at their own pace. It doesn't mean that your baby is dumber, that they're less capable. They develop at their own pace. Just like us, we get to certain stages in our lives at our own pace. Life is not a race. So yeah, I'm just really focused on her own development. I do remember though, I had a friend who was storying that her baby knew how to get down from the bed or get down from the couch. And that's actually how I got the idea of teaching Sienna how to get down from the couch or higher surfaces herself. Because I feel that it's such an important skill for her to know. So it actually inspired me. It didn't make me jealous or make me feel bad. It inspired me and motivated me to teach Sienna, because it's something na, okay, if this baby can already learn it, then Sienna can probably already learn it as well. So maybe I could start teaching it to her and she'll probably get it. Parang it became more of a cue to me na, okay, this is something pala Sienna can actually learn na. Like she's ready to learn this, and that's why I eventually taught her how to do it, and she now knows it. So yeah, in terms of development, she's so fast now. Totoo pala yung what my mommy friends told me na, grabe, babies develop so fast. You'd think na parang may karang tagal ng panahon, but really, once they reach a certain age, especially at this age when they're 1, they're like a sponge. It's so easy for them to get something. Like, they pick up on things so easily. Like, for example, it took me like, just a few tries. Like, just the other day, I was telling her, okay, this is nose. And now, if I ask her, okay, where's Dada's nose? She knows na. Okay, that's Dada's nose. It's so, like, they get things so quick. Bukas, she'll be reciting a poem. Just kidding. But yeah, I love seeing her develop. It excites me. Excites me so much that I can start teaching her so many things. How do you deal with anxiety on leaving Sienna to Yaya only if you need to go out for work? For me kasi talaga, it's important to find help that you trust. And if you trust the help that you have around you, then you shouldn't feel anxious. I mean, it's normal for us to feel guilt to miss our babies, but I don't think you're supposed to feel anxious if you trust who you're leaving your baby with. With Yaya, I feel that we've spent enough time together for her to know the things that I want Sienna to do, and the things that she can and cannot do. with Sienna or like how to take care of Sienna. Like I completely trust that she already knows these things. And I would never leave my baby to someone who I don't trust and who I don't feel has the right tools to take care of my baby. And I feel with Yaya, she's more than capable of taking care of Sienna, and I trust that, Sienna is safe with her, so I don't feel anxious. Also, I have CCTVs around, so I can always watch them. But I usually do it not to spy on them, but really it's because I miss Sienna and I want to see her, so that's why I watch. Any tips to friends or family of moms dealing with postpartum depression? My BFF is struggling and I want to help. That's so nice of you that you acknowledge postpartum depression amongst moms is real, and it's so nice of you to want to be able to help her. You can never really say that I can imagine how bad it must be for you because you can't really say this unless you're in that person's shoes. I think the best that you can do is really just to provide support, to make her feel that she's not alone, that she's got so much love around her, and that you're just there to support and to help, and she has you. I think it's important to always converse with her, try to always reach out to her, visit her, help her in your own little way, just those things, and it will go a very, very long way. Maybe open the conversation with her as well. I hope that she's aware that she's experiencing postpartum depression. If she's not, then maybe help her become aware of it, because sometimes moms don't really realize they're experiencing postpartum depression until someone else tells them that. And maybe ask her if she needs professional help also. There's just some things that, you're BFFs anyway, and I feel like this is something that you can talk about, and she'd want to be able to talk about with you. Yes, Sienna Bug. Wanna come here and play with your toys? Will you behave? I cannot walk. Don't trick Mama. You can only sit here and snack. You wanna get your snack? What mama approach do you do with her in terms of cognitive and motor skills and also affections? I don't know if there's an official school of thought for that. I'm just doing what I feel is right for Sienna and me and Yoni. I think mine is pretty baby-led. If I feel that she's already ready, then that's when I try to introduce certain things to her. In terms of affections, I really want her to be affectionate, so I try my best to always, show my affection to her and always say I love you, kiss her, hug her, hold her hands, and, teach her how to say thank you. These are things that are really important to me. I guess my approach is really showing by example. That's also how I teach her when it comes to not just affections and her personality, but mostly with her cognitive and motor skills. She likes to copy kasi, so it's easier to teach her when I show her and exaggerate my moves and then, assist her while she tries to do it and copy. Then eventually she'll get the hang of it. So I know some of you are also teaching, how do you teach her how to keep her toys, put back her toys? So I'd always be like, okay, I put the basket here, and then I'd get a toy, and then I'd show her, I'd make sure she's looking at me, and I'd be like, okay, so keep, and then if she doesn't get it, I'll put the toy in her hand and guide her hand while I keep saying keep. I just keep saying keep, and then eventually she got it. So that's how I do it. Leading by example, I repeat the words and then try to guide her if she doesn't get it by herself. And then also always rejoice when she does it, yay! So she knows she did something good. What languages do you use at home? Is Sienna learning Finnish language? I primarily speak to her in English. Yoni tries his best to speak to her in Finnish. Yaya speaks to her in Filipino. So that's what I really told Yaya na please try to speak to her in Filipino so she gets to learn one language each from us. And then my parents, when my parents are around, would speak to her in Chinese. That is the hope, that she would pick up all these different languages. We're hoping. Yaya! Oh, you wanna go to Yaya na? Yaya, pupunta siya sa'yo. Wow! How did you choose Sienna's godparents? I feel like a lot of us, especially here in our country, we choose godparents because, ayaw nating ma-hurt yung tao. I think it's the same with our weddings. You invite people because ayaw mong ma-hurt, ayaw mong ka-issue. But for me, you guys know that even with my wedding, that's not a thing. So even when I was choosing the godparents, it's not about, I'm gonna choose this person because they made me a godparent with their kid and I don't want them to get hurt. It's not that. For me, it's really about who I think will be with us as Sienna grows older, who I think, will be friends for life and I feel are good role models, would be able to guide Sienna as she grows up. So that's how I chose her godparents. I really wanted godparents who would be able to support her. Hindi yung parang once na blue moon lang niya makikita yung ganon. I wanted godparents that would really be involved in her life. What's your least favorite thing about motherhood? I love this question because it's not a normal question, and I'm sure, like, it's not something a lot of people are comfortable talking about because everyone is always like, motherhood is so fulfilling, motherhood is so rewarding, I love motherhood, blah, blah, blah. And we don't really talk about all the other things that comes with motherhood. And I want to be real, it's not always rainbows and butterflies and glitters and all things good. For me, what I like least about it is the feeling that you just don't have enough time. That's it. Like, in a day, I feel like I don't have enough hours in the day because there's so many things to do. You want to, like, do so many things. You want to work, you want to take care of your baby, you want to spend time with your baby, but you also want to take care of yourself. Like, I just always feel like there's not enough time. And I feel like my time is no longer mine. You get what I mean? Like, I can't control my time anymore. That feeling, that's what I don't like. Like, I always wish that I have more time to work, more time to spend time just doing nothing, more time to spend quality time with Sienna, more time to play with Sienna, more time to take care of her, more time to spend with my husband, more time to spend with my friends, So I feel like I don't have enough time. That's what I don't like. How do you deal with parents or in-laws trying to micromanage your way of parenting? Well, my in-laws don't because they're very Nordic. They mind their own business. They're very, that's your kid, you do you. Very open-minded. But for my parents, I think it really surprised me because I thought my mom would micromanage me because she's like, a tiger mom. But actually, I could see that grabe yung preno niya. Like, she really tries to stop herself from micromanaging me or telling me that I should be doing this, I should be raising Sienna this way. There are moments where she slips, and she can't stop herself, like telling me that, you're supposed to like do this, but it doesn't happen often enough that it bothers me. And, when they say these things, I consider it and then I think about it, I discuss it with Yoni, and if we still feel differently, then we don't do it. At the end of the day, no one's forcing me, no one's putting a gun to my head to do certain things for my child. So if this happens to you, then you nod and say that, yeah, we'll think about it, we'll discuss, and then move on. And then if you decide that you don't want to do what they're suggesting and they're still so pushy and you feel really bad about it, then maybe it's time to tell them that, I understand that this is coming from a good place and it's coming from, your love for your grandchild, but I hope that you respect that at the end of the day, I am his or her parent and I want the best for my kid, and this is what I feel is best for my kid, I guess. But what I did realize also is that it always helps to be backed up by research. So I always tell my mom that, Mom, that's not what we do now. Like, for example, if she says, na, why aren't you doing this? Yung panahon namin, ito yung ginagawa namin. I always just say that, Mom, it's already different now. It's actually been proven that it's toxic for babies. It's not good for them. And then she keeps quiet. What's the most useful must-have or baby gadget? Well, number one is a baby monitor. I really love Nanit because Nanit is just so much more superior than any other, especially with their insights. You could see all their, like, okay, she woke up at this hour, she slept at this hour, it's all recorded there. And then if you opt to buy also their add-ons, like the wearables, then you could also, like, it would also alert you if something happened to baby. It's also super duper clear, which I love. And it's very reliable. The second baby monitor that I would suggest is Lollipop. That's what we use when we travel. And if we didn't use Nanit, we'd also be using it at home. We love it, except it just doesn't have the insights part. I'm not sure if there's a paid portion to it that would allow you to have insights, but it works super duper well as well. Both of them work even if the app is not active. Like, it could be just background. So you could have the noise or the sound coming from your baby's room on the entire night and your phone is like on sleep mode. The background audio is still playing. So you'd be alerted if your baby's crying and stuff like that. So both apps are okay for that. Another useful gadget for me is the Hush machine, which we got from Milk and Honey PH. That's a sound machine and I love it because you can attach it anywhere and you can attach the volume. I just feel that out of all the sound machines I was given, that was the most reliable and what really worked for us. Baby Move as well. So I haven't shown you guys that, but it's kind of like Bayaba actually. I first got Bayaba when Sienna was younger. So there's a Bayaba Neo machine where you can blend stuff, so you can make it into a puree and you can also steam, I think. But then Baby Move, which is a French brand as well, that just arrived in the Philippines, sent me their version and I feel like it's more complete. You can do more things with their system. So I have the Baby Move Nutri Baby XL. It's just able to do so many different things and it's got a lot of different levels so you can cook at the same time. It's so good. I will show you how we use it one of these days, but I really love that. And then another gadget that I feel is super important is Eco Mom, or Yupang, both brands we use. They're both sterilizers. So we have Eco Mom here in the kitchen and Upang in Sienna's room. So these are sterilizers for anything they use, and I feel that it's really, really super important. It helped us a lot. Eco Mom is from Mighty Baby. You can get that from Mighty Baby. Upang, you can get from Upang. Another one that I really love is Wellis, which is also available from Mighty Baby. That's an air disinfectant slash sterilizer. So it's not just a purifier, it actually is able to help fight against COVID. And that's what they use in the hospitals in Korea. So that's what we use in Sienna's room and in my room as well. It also helps with allergies and stuff. So I really believe in it, and that's what we use. How do you see Sienna in the future? I don't know actually. I'm open to anything. I feel like that's something that I shouldn't be dictating already, because then it would just, create disappointments, expectations, and that's not good. I've always said this, my only hope is for her to grow up into a happy, well-rounded person who feels complete and who feels loved 100%. Loved and supported. That's all that matters to me. How long did you breastfeed Sienna? I breastfed Sienna exclusively until around before 5 months, I think. And then after that, we mixed fed until around 7 months, I think. But I know by the latter half, it was really primarily more formula than my breast milk. It really started going bad for us when I started getting problems with my breastfeeding. It was not just clogs and stuff like that I could handle, but it was an infection. I got infection, I got thrush, I got clogs, I got blebs. There were moments where I couldn't breastfeed her directly because it wasn't safe, so I had to pump, and I just wasn't able to get the proper supply because of all these problems at that stage. In the beginning, I was fine, but then I started getting all these problems. It was affecting me so much mentally. Imagine having a bleb. It's not a clog, a bleb. So much more challenging. It just drives you crazy because if you can't release the bleb, then it's clogged forever. So anyway, I kept getting blebs like once or twice every week. Imagine that, every single week. And then I was talking to a mommy and she knows how blebs are also, and she was saying that I cannot imagine, because for her, like, she only went through it for a few times and it was already driving her crazy. She says, I don't know how you were able to handle yourself and you're still able to smile despite having blebs 1 to 2 times a week every single week. It was really driving me crazy, and it was just the mental toll breastfeeding did was just, it was crazy. Johnny was so supportive the entire time, and he was just saying that I think you've already done everything. It's time for you to stop. And I know that if you're a mom having challenges with breastfeeding, I know that you'd understand when I say that no matter what other people tell you, that you've done everything, blah, 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 the guilt never really goes away. Because society tells us that you have to breastfeed. You have to breastfeed or else your child will not be healthy. That's what people keep telling us. So the guilt is so, so real. Even though you've done so much and you've really, in your heart that you've done everything, you just can't erase it in the back of your brain. Like, something is always nagging at you and saying that you're being selfish. You're stopping and you're being selfish. You don't care for your baby. And I felt that. I really did. And that's why I really tried my best to really keep going on until I had to face the reality that, it's really not working for us. And then after that, Sienna's healthy. She hasn't gotten sick. She's pretty okay. Her weight is pretty well. Her developments are okay as well. So I do believe that fed is best. And I believe that, a happy mommy is the best mommy. When did being a mother become easier for you? I don't know if become easier is the right word, but maybe when did I get the groove of things? Like, when did I, start trusting myself as a mom? I can't really tell. I think it was when we went to Europe. And, I was doing everything by myself. Parang everything was so heightened kasi na, it's really just us. So then, I really felt that, okay, I was getting the groove of things. I think it was just the right adjustment period. 4 months has passed. I've adjusted to my baby. My baby has adjusted to me. I now know, like, okay, what motherhood is like. All my expectations have been, set. It's no longer, set at this. I was able to adjust it already. So then that's when I started enjoying. And that's when I started really thinking that, okay, I've got this. I know how to be a mom. I'm the right mom for Sienna. That's why I always say that if there's anything that I would give as an advice to new moms, is that adjust your expectations. Don't be too hard on yourself. Because, before becoming a mom, we have all these expectations that a mom should be this, a baby should be like this, you're supposed to be able to do this, you're supposed to be able to give this. But society expects so much from us, and they paint such a different picture of motherhood than what it really is. So for me talaga is, you really have to set your expectations. Your baby is new to you. You're new to your baby. Everything is so new. It's all an adjustment to everyone. So obviously, it's not gonna be, butterflies and rainbows all the time. Manage your expectations and cut yourself some slack. That's my best advice. Does Sienna have tantrums? How do you stop them so that she doesn't become a spoiled brat? That is a huge fear for me. I really don't want her to be a spoiled brat, and I don't want tantrums to get the better of her. But I remember I was talking to one of my friends, Pauline of Permanent Makeup Manila, who did my eyebrows. She was telling me that her son Noah doesn't throw tantrums at all, and she feels it's because he's able to express his feelings. And I think this is correct, especially in the early stages of a kid's life. If they're not able to express themselves, then that's when they throw tantrums, and that's why they cry as babies, because they don't know how to express to you that I'm hungry, I'm sleepy, I'm tired, you know? That's their way of expressing these things to you. So then I asked her, like, okay, so what did you do? Like, how did you make your son become so expressive and be able to use his words and to be able to express to you what he feels? She says that she thinks that it helps because they taught him how to sign. So then, eventually, when he learned how to sign, he learned how to tell them what his needs are. Because there's a baby sign language, so that's what they taught him. And then eventually, because he knew how to sign, he also learned how to speak faster. That's their experience. And so then, because he learned to associate certain words with the signs, he understood what these words meant. So then he also started doing that. So now he knows how to express that, parang, Mom, I'm sad because this happened. So then he doesn't throw tantrums because he's able to express it. So with Sienna, that's what we've been trying to do as well. Like, we've tried teaching her how to sign, which also made her life so much easier. Like, she's now able to tell us that, yeah, Mom, I'm ready to eat. Or like, Mommy, I don't want to eat yet. Like, she already knows now, okay, eating time. And then if I tell her na, is it eating time? And she'd be doing this. It means that, no, I'm not hungry yet. Because if you put her in eating time and she's not ready to eat, she's not gonna eat. It's gonna be a tantrum. So we follow that. And then, like, now she knows that if I tell her, okay, it's sleeping time, Sienna. And then she'll, yeah, sleeping time, I'm sleepy. So then she would walk to her room by herself. Or like bath time, I would tell her, bath time. And then she'd be like, okay, yeah, bath time. If she repeats it, it means that she's ready for it. So then she walks to the bathroom by herself, goes to yaya, and no problem, no crying, no scream fest, no anything. And so that's when I proved, totoo nga what she's saying. Because now that she's able to communicate more, she doesn't throw fits anymore. And my hope is that it continues. I mean, of course, she's still a baby. She still throws tantrums. Like, for example, a while ago when we were trying to wipe her. But I also try to really converse with her and not treat her like a baby. Parang, oh, it's okay. Like, not like that. Like, if she throws a tantrum, I really try to talk to her as if she understands me. So I really go on her eye level, try to make her look me in the eye. It's good that she already knows what look at mama means. So I tell her, look at mama. Sienna, we need to wipe, right? We need to wipe your mouth so that it's clean. Mama just needs to do it. Okay, wipe. And then if she throws a tantrum, I'll be like, oh, look, mama just does one more. Okay, mama just does one more. Wipe. Okay, we're done. See, we're done. So I try to like really talk to her instead of, just letting her cry herself out. I think kasi the main problem with us is that we always expect so little from our babies, but really they're so much more capable than we think. So that's why I just trust. I trust that, she knows these things, and I want to continue this. As she grows up, I want to keep conversing with her, keep expressing, so that maybe, hopefully, she won't be doing terrible tantrums. I'm sure it will happen. No kid is perfect. I'm sure there will be, but at least it's gonna be manageable. What did you put on Sienna's mosquito bites? Okay, something like this time. I used the one from, is it Cycles or Cradles? Because they're sister brands, I keep getting confused, but one of those. I use their mosquito repellent. Tiny Buds also has a good one. So I really just make sure I give them mga baby-friendly brands, and I look at the ingredients to make sure that there are no harsh chemicals. The more natural, the better. I also always use to her the mosquito repellent patches. So yeah. And then afterwards, if it's still really red, I also put like mga afterbite. I think Tiny Buds has a lot of those as well. And sometimes I use mga Fisio Gel cream, or sometimes naman, it really helps because if you moisturize the baby's skin. So the Fisio Gel, I just spot that. And then just for maintenance, I give her Johnson's Baby Cotton Touch Lotion. You guys know we're a Johnson's Baby, so yeah, I use that. Are you guys planning on giving Sienna Bugaboo a sibling? Yes, we are, but not anytime soon. I want to give time to myself and to Yoni. To us as a couple, and with Sienna. I want to enjoy this, so we're not in a hurry. How do you manage 1,000 pics of Sienna? Just wondering, effective system. I do not. Maybe if I'm less busy, I'd be able to find time to manage them. Right now, I only have a folder of Sienna. That's it. That's how I manage it. I know. I want to be able to find a way. If I find a way, I'll let you know. Are you a paranoid mom? Just wondering because me and my friends worry about the little details. I think it really helps that I'm married to Yoni. If I wasn't married to Yoni, I think I'd be a very, very paranoid mom. It's nice that I have a sounding board with him. I don't want to be paranoid. My mom is a paranoid mom. She really is a super duper paranoid Asian mom. And I don't want to be that way. I think for my child and my own sanity. So I always have a conversation with myself, and I also do research. Is this really a sound worry? Like, is it something that I should be worried about? I talk to other moms, but most importantly, I talk to Yoni. Because I think with Yoni, I'm able to find just the right level of paranoia. So yeah, it really helps that I have someone like Yoni who's really not paranoid, who's very he's got a very sound mind. So yeah, I just talk to him. So yeah, I would like to say that because of Yoni and because of how I've adjusted and because of our time in Europe and what I've experienced with Sienna, I don't think I'm a paranoid mom. I think tama lang. Let her have good bacteria. Let her adjust to a new environment. She's not gonna be in a sterilized environment her entire life. We need to train her immune system. So, were you able to enjoy your travels with Sienna? We also traveled with my baby in Europe, but it was quite overwhelming. I did, but I think there's a huge difference. It really depends, like, what month you went with your baby, I think when we went with Sienna, 5-6 months, that was the best time because, they weren't so delicate anymore. You didn't have to hold them all the time. They could sit up by themselves. They could crawl. But then they're also not old enough to be, super active, to want to keep moving around, to have to do certain activities. So it was really just the perfect time because we could just put her in her stroller while we drink sangrias, while we eat, while we go shop around. And she didn't really mind. She could sleep in her stroller. So it was really just the right time to go. I can imagine that I feel like it's gonna be more overwhelming now if we traveled because, she likes to walk around already. She likes to see things. She likes to touch things. So it's gonna be more overwhelming. When we went to Singapore, it was fine because we had help. We had Yaya with us. She could still go back to the hotel to sleep with Yaya. And then afterwards, she could go out with us. So I guess also what really helped is that I managed my expectations. I knew that we weren't gonna be able to do as much things as we used to when it was just me and Yoni. So I knew right away that, okay, on this day we could only go here. Just those things. Again, it's all about managing your expectations, I feel. How did you train Sienna to get used to her car seat? I believe that it's about introduction, when to introduce things to your baby. It's the same with bottles, with pacifiers. Pacifiers never worked for us. She never liked pacifiers. I digress, but with anything with babies, I think it's about introducing something at the right time and exposing them to it as much as you can. So with Sienna, that's what we did. She was already in car seats even from the very beginning. Like, we'd always put her in car seats because I would always visit my parents as well. When she was around, past 3 months, we'd always go to my parents already. So then, even though it's just a short 10-minute ride, she'd still be put in her car seat. And then, when we traveled, she was in a car seat. So we were just always putting her in a car seat. That's why she got used to it. It never became an issue. I feel like with my friends who have issues with car seats, it's because they never got used to it. They were a bit more aware already or older when they started using the car seat. Kami kasi we started when she was really, really young. So then it was fine. So I guess my advice is if you're having problems with the baby, I don't know if it helps if you change car seats because then it's also expensive to buy a new one. Maybe just try to associate good experiences there. Try to distract them. Like, they know that if they get to a car seat, they get to get their favorite snack, or associated with their favorite toy. Try to distract them. With Sienna kasi she's sadyang lakwachera, so she already knows, okay, when I get to the car seat, it means I'm going somewhere. Yay! She's happy. How did you introduce Sienna to your fur babies? Wala, we came home and then they saw Sienna, we let them smell her, and then that was it. We still always make sure to watch her when the dogs are coming because I don't think there's much love there, I think Noodle loves Sienna so much, but Sienna naman gets so surprised because Noodle likes to lick her face and she's always like that. And then Pixie is very respectful, so Pixie and Sienna are good. Penny, we don't know if she's protective of Sienna or possessive of us. We don't know. We're still very confused. We don't know if she wants to play with Sienna or she's low-key stopping her from getting to us. We really don't know yet, so we're watching that really closely, which is really quite surprising because Penny is our smartest and nicest dog out of everyone. We don't know if she's jealous because she's so in love with Yoni and now she knows that Yoni spends so much time with Sienna. We don't know. We're still, we're just making sure too that all the interactions is assisted and like, we're really there. And we just, try to teach also Sienna like, okay, gentle touch, don't pull Penny's tail. We know she looks like a toy. Don't pull, gentle. So just that. What is Sienna's milk? This is also something that a lot of you asked. When she was on formula still, she was on HIP, HIPP. But when we went abroad in Europe, surprisingly, it's not available there in Southern and Nordic Europe. So then we had to look for other brands, and that's what caused some problems with Sienna. I remember she had some tummy problems. She wasn't doing well with certain brands there. So we just, tried to look for the best brand that she would be okay with. So then we found a formula. I think it was a brand by Nestle. I think it was Nan something, I can't remember. And then when we came back to the Philippines, we went back with HIP. But then when we switched doctors, our doctor recommended for her to use S2 Gold. So we used that for a while as well, which is good because I feel that HIP actually made her a bit more constipated than the other milk. And then now that she's already won, we already switched her to normal milk. I love our new doctor because she's really more modern. She was saying that it's about time for her to have like cow's milk. So what we give her is Arla Organic. And from my research kasi it always has to be like a full cream milk. So that's what we give her. Nagseselos ka ba sa yaya ni Sienna? I think this is something that a lot of moms fear. I think that's also my fear that, one day Sienna would be more dikit to yaya than me. So I don't think selos is the right word. I'm just wary that I want her to grow up to appreciate yaya but still also know who mama is. So I just want to have that balance. So that's why I try my best to always spend quality time with her. And for her just to know that mama loves her. I mean, of course I want her to love her yaya, but I want her to know that Mama, did you ever deal with any sleep challenges with Sienna? So far, none. Even with the change in time zone, none at all. Even with the change in residences, sleeping areas, none. We haven't experienced anything that's, out of the ordinary. I think the hardest one lang talaga that really stands out is when we first moved into this condo. Because I was pretty confident that she wasn't gonna have any difficulty. Di kasi nangingilala ng environment si Sienna. We go to hotels and she's fine. But I think what happened here was that because Yoni and I were both so busy with the move and with work, it was just a series of events that made her feel like she was abandoned, and that's why it was harder for her to sleep and adjust to this condo. Because when we moved here, Yoni literally just dropped them off. He dropped Sienna with Yaya and the Kokoro girls and then left without anything. So then I guess that's why she felt scared because parang it wasn't as if we spent time with her here first and then left. It was really just, she was dropped off here. So Yaya was telling me that night, because I was coming at night pa, I was still finishing my work, I was still having a shoot, I think, that Sienna didn't sleep though during her afternoon nap, which is normal because sometimes she doesn't sleep during the afternoon nap. But then even at night, she was like, they were messaging me na pala. I didn't see my phone and they were messaging me at 9 p.m. saying, Ma'am, where are you? Are you coming home na? Because Sienna isn't sleeping. So then when I got here at 9:30ish, she really wasn't sleeping. She was here, right here on this couch with Yaya playing. And Yaya said that she didn't want to leave Sienna in her room because she really kept crying and never wanted to stop. Like, she's fine if she brings her out here to play, but once they enter the room, she starts crying. So then she was like, Mom, baka ayaw na yung room, baka may nararamdaman. Alam mo na, usual stuff. But I don't believe in that. So I'm like, no, impossible. So I went in, tried to put her to sleep, tried to rock her because she really needed it already. Like, I'm not gonna be doing the hugging her tight until forever. It's already 10 p.m. at this point. So then Yoni came in also to help, and he did, like, Yoni likes to do the squatting motion. That really works with Sienna, so that's what he did, and she fell asleep. So this was the case for until the next day. She was again still like that, like for the naps. Like, we had to help her. She was crying if we leave her. Very, very weird talaga. The day after that, she was fine na. So it really was, that's what sealed the deal. Like, what Yoni and I really figured out na parang, yeah, I think she really thought we left her. She really thought she was abandoned by mommy and daddy and that this isn't home. So then that's why she started crying. So lesson learned. How do you handle all the stress being a full-time mommy and a boss lady? I just always try to manage my time. I try to set aside certain things. Like, if I know that, let's say, tomorrow I'm gonna be having like a full day of work, I try na, okay, in the morning, I know I'm more free, so morning, I'm gonna spend the entire morning with Sienna so that I will just really focus, and that's my way of making me feel that I was still able to spend time with her. So it's really about balancing. That's how I do it. Or for example, now I know I'm gonna vlog now. I'm gonna be doing a lot of things. Hi. I'm gonna be doing a lot of things. So then, like, for example, now I know that this afternoon is gonna be busy. So in the morning, I spent the entire morning with her and really did whatever she wanted to do. I think it's really just about creating a balance and asking help. So I would also tell Yaya na, okay, on this time, I'm gonna be really busy. So Yaya, please make sure to just keep Sienna occupied, mga ganon. So help also helps. What's the one thing that amazes you most about Sienna? It's really how she picks up on things, how easily she picks up on something, and how expressive, meaning like she's able to communicate like what she needs and what she wants. I really think she's so smart. Dash mom. Proud mom. What is Sienna's first word? Yoni thinks it's mama. I don't know if it's really mama because I was telling him I don't know if she associated it with mama already, like if she actually knows the word mama. Because I don't think that's the first word if you don't know what it means. It could be just some random syllable that you blurted out. Dada. You know, you can say dada, 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 and then you say, oh my god, that's your first word. But she doesn't really know what dada means. But Yoni says that it really is mama. She knows what mama is, and that's her first word. Now she knows a lot of words. She knows mama, dada, nai, ai, so all the important people, yaya. She knows na already, wow. She knows hello. She knows hi. She knows bye. She knows keep. She knows a lot of words. Mumu, papa, which is grandmother and grandfather in Finnish. What aspects of your spending habits have changed after having Sienna? A lot, I think. You think, Hobbs? I think I'm more willing to spend on her really now, and if I don't need it, I just keep thinking that, I could already buy this for Sienna. A lot, really. But it doesn't mean that I don't splurge for myself. It's just that I think hard on what I splurge on. Like, that's why I think also when it comes to fashion, I'm investing more on high quality investment pieces rather than fast fashion. I think I've really become more into that. Also, like, for example, like, I'd always say I'm not into, like, expensive jewelry. I don't appreciate it yet. Now, I really think about, okay, I'm gonna be spending on things that last. So I'm gonna be buying like real gold for my earrings or those kinds of things. I think that came with being a mom because I feel that I don't wanna spend foolishly anymore. I wanna be spending on things that will actually last. And then I feel bad about buying like really expensive, like useless things for myself. But if it's for Sienna, I'm like all game. I could go to Healthy Options, spend 5,000 pesos on her snacks that will be done in like a few weeks. But I'm fine with that because it's for Sienna. It's just those kinds of things. Is she a mommy or daddy's girl? I think now it's pretty fair. It depends on the day, honestly. Your fave mother and daughter bonding activity, it's just really spending quality time. No distractions, no phones, no whatsoever. It's just really me and her and just really paying attention to her. 100% attention. That's my favorite. Is your way of parenting different from how you were raised? I think so. I think I've learned from the example that my parents have set. I've gotten some tips from them, but I'm also, tweaking and modifying certain things that I feel is more me, more my style, more Yoni and my style. So yeah, I think it's definitely different. And also, I come from a different generation. I think it's bound to be different because, I come from a different generation. I grew up among different people. I just think that affects my views on things. Does Sienna cry when you leave her? Yes. My gosh. She does. But not always. It depends on how I leave. That's why I always say nga na parang I feel so sad that I can't say proper goodbyes to her. If it's a proper goodbye, there's a chance she might cry. So sometimes I have to sneak out. But yeah, as long as she's distracted or she's playing with someone else, she doesn't mind. But if it's like mommy time and then suddenly mommy has to leave, then she cries. How did you lose weight after giving birth? A lot of people ask me this. Honestly, it wasn't a conscious effort. I really am just genetically like this. I don't get fat easily. I have high metabolism. I come from a family with really small bones. We really have a petite frame. And also my mom, when she gave birth, like her body type is the same as mine. Like she didn't really gain a lot of weight, which is the same as me. We gained the same amount of weight, which is basically our baby. So I didn't really have to do much. It wasn't a diet or anything. I feel kasi na after you give birth, so many things have happened to your body. So give your body the chance to heal. Don't go right away thinking, I want to be sexy right away. Give your body the nutrition that it needs to heal. Give the body what it needs, not what you need so that you look a certain way. I think it helps also if you work out. If you can work out, if you're cleared to work out, then work out. It helps not only physically but also mentally. It makes you feel better. It gives you happy hormones so that at least you know you're doing something. You're doing something for the betterment of your health and your body. As long as you're eating right, you're taking care of your body, you're taking care of what you're eating, especially if you're breastfeeding, you want to be eating the right things, then you should be fine. Just give your body time to heal. Sometimes, I wonder lang if may times ba na nagiging impatient ka kay Sienna. I think there might have been 1 or 2 times that I've been impatient. I think Yoni was even there. But it wasn't anything that was like nothing like that. I think if this happens, you just really have to regroup. Inhale, exhale. If you really can't handle it, then call someone to take over and take yourself out of the situation so that you can, get a hold of yourself, but it hasn't happened a lot. We actually just once. How did you make sure that Sienna is such a happy bug? I truly believe that kids pick up on the parents' energy, on your energy, your partner's energy, the energy of the people around your kid. I really think that's important, and that's why I really want to surround her with happiness and positive energy. And I think that shows, and that's why she's a happy kid, because she sees that she's got happy parents and we've got a happy disposition. And so yeah. What are you doing while Sienna is taking a nap? I work. This is a time I work because I'm sure that I can really focus 100%. Do you sleep with Sienna at night? No. That's why she's also sleep trained. I do wish that we'd get to the time where, I can sleep with her now in our bed and it won't ruin her sleep training. It won't suddenly make her like, I want to sleep with you every single night. So I'm waiting for that moment because I know that if we do it now and she starts liking it, it will ruin the sleep training. So yeah, hopefully in the future when she's a bit older na, we can start doing mga sleepovers in her bed. Yoni's really strict about it though. He says no. Yes, Sienna Bug. Okay, slowly. Slowly, okay? Not in a hurry. What are you doing, Mommy? You wanna sit here? Okay, we're almost done with the vlog. You can say goodbye with Mama. So yeah, that's it na pala. It's done. Sienna knew that it was already done. Okay, so we have to say goodbye to everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's vlog. It's a very long vlog, but I really wanted to answer a lot of your questions. I hope that I was able to answer most of them. I wish I could answer all, but we are not a Netflix series. We cannot answer everything. So yeah, thank you so much. Bye everyone. Say bye, Sienna Bug. Say bye-bye. Okay, flying kiss. Say mama.
Mama.
Say wow.
Wow.
Say bye. Yeah. Say Coco. That's her favorite book. Say